So why study the original languages of the Bible? Say why? If I have a good translation of the Bible, why should I go back and study the original languages of the Bible? I give you just one little example. Apart from the personal satisfaction that you just can have access to the very words that were spoken by the apostles in the New Testament, by Jesus himself, or even God in the Old Testament, you also are in a condition to understand a lot of things. Understanding and um, knowing is important when you are confronted by people who can give you all kinds of ideas. And these days, I'll tell you, I've been hearing people saying incredible things about the Bible. When I say incredible, I mean it's impossible to believe. All right, now, this is Genesis 1 1, which is Bereshit bara Elohim et Ashamahim ve'et Haaretz. Okay, so this is the first verse of the Bible. Some people say, come on, this is not the way you read it. In Italy, there is this guy going around is so famous. But I'm sure there must be people like him everywhere, because it's not the person, it's the spirit that is in him going around and trying to seduce people, telling them some things about the original, the Hebrew, and the Greek. Come on. So they say this is the Masoretic text. As you can see, it has sort of a punctuation because the original language in the Hebrew uh, has only consonants. So the Masoretes just put down these signs, these notes, so that people know how to read it. Otherwise, you could lose, because in a language, if you remove the vowels, basically you can read the words differently. So some people say, but look, this is the way it looked in the beginning. How do you know that this verse was written, was really meant what it meant? For example, there was no punctuation in the original, and the words had no separation one from the other. Take a look at the first three letters, then move on, and you see that the three letters are repeated again. So they say, how is it? How do we know? How do we know? I tell you, we do know, and we have witnesses about this. And that's how important it is to study. This Bible verse was interpreted when it was translated into Greek. So when people today come to you, and it is the case here in Italy, and they have so many people following, they have written books and whatever they are, I know that's incredible. But the words Elohim that we find here in the Hebrew, which is one, two, three, the third word from the right, because this is how you read Hebrew. Elohim basically is a plural word, okay? And at the same time, it must be said that Ashamahim, which is the first word in the second line, well, that is a plural as well, which is heaven. They say the heavens. So they're both of them are plural. But they say that, I mean, I tell you, this is, I don't know if you have someone like this in the English speaking world, but I tell you, in Italy, he is so successful. He says the Elohim are extraterrestrial people colonizing the earth. Okay. And because he says that the original reading is a plural. All right, now we go back to the year 250 BC, okay? When when no one knew anything about extraterrestrial beings, little green man, like you remember E.T. The poor guy was so strange. Anyways, but I don't want to criticize. But it was fun. It was cute. Come on, let's be honest. It was cute. But the Elohim were strong people from outside of this planet. Well, one thing is that why didn't they come to the planet later on? They just disappeared with the Hebrew language. The Greek language came in, and then they just disappeared. But that's off the topic. But how do we know that the Masoretic text, which was developed later on, in like fourth century, so we're going back like 1600 years, but not as early as 250 BC. In 250 BC, in Alexandria, in Egypt, people who were able to translate from the Hebrew to Greek because they mastered both languages, they had the knowledge to do it. They translated Genesis 1 and 1 like this: En arche epoiesen o theos ton uranon kai tengen. I'm reading not in the modern Greek pronunciation, I know, but this is what they usually pronounce Greek in the academic circles. So anarche, today you read it anarchy, which I love. It's better, but it's okay for the sake of what we're doing. It's okay. So anarche in the beginning, epoiesen, made. We translate created. Otheos, wow. In the Greek, it is singular. In the Greek, it is singular. Ton uranon, the heaven. Heaven, singular, again. Kaiten gen, and the earth. So they knew about the text, and in 250 BC, they told us how to read this Bible verse, how they understood it. And there is no reason why anyone can come here today and tell us that's not the way you must read it and understand it. So I find it pretty convincing. 250 BC is a better authority than someone that just woke up a couple of years ago and thought he might sell some good books, and he's making good money. He's making good money, and it's okay. It's a good commercial idea, like it was for the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Judas, and the Da Vinci Code story behind it and stuff. That okay, that's commercial activity. That's business. That has nothing to do with actual knowledge and with actual linguistics. That has nothing to do with that. Okay, so at the same time, I want to reassure you and encourage you to study the original languages. So if someone tells you, well, Genesis 1 and 1, some people read it differently. All right. Are some people more informed than the bilingual intellectuals that lived in Alexandria in Egypt and translated Enarche poiesen o theos, ton uranon kaiten gen. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So we know that this is the only way in which this Bible verse was understood for over 2,000 years. And there is no reason to believe that it can be understood otherwise. Knowing the original languages give you such an incredible blessing. I learned Greek, now it's 30 years back. I don't regret it. I can't regret it. And one thing that I've always done, because a friend of mine graduated college and he knew Greek at the time, he said, I forgot Greek. I used to know it. So what I've been doing during these 30 years has always been my goal, never to forget what I've learned. Even learn more if I can. I took some Hebrew classes. I'm not saying that I'm a Hebrew student. I just know a few words and that's it. Thank God for what I know, and I would like to study more, honestly. But Greek is amazing, and understanding God's word. For example, I read John in Greek so many times. Everything is complicated. until you learn it. So that's the only obstacle, is not how complicated the thing is, but how willing you are to learn it. All right. I hope that this encouraged you to just start uh, studying Greek if you want to. Uh, I have my lessons there out there on my website, on the Facebook page is the Beagle, which is Bible Greek, Biblical Greek online lessons. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this short video was a blessing for you.